Two men sit in prison tonight for a St. Charles County murder.
But one now says he lied about what really happened.
I'm done talking, unless you can give me immunity.
Well, I don't have the power to give you immunity.
I know.
Will you tell us?
Only News 4 investigator Chris Nagus listened to the confession and sat down with both men behind bars.
How old will you be when you get out of here?
60s, easy.
Lydell Moore is serving 30 years for his role in a 2014 murder at Blanchette Park in St. Charles. The victim, Martell Crump, was shot by another man, Davion Morrison. He's serving 24 years.
How long have you been here for?
Going on 3 months.
Both men are sitting in prisons 150 miles apart. Morrison pled guilty for his role in the crime without going to trial. Moore took his chances with a jury. In court, Morrison gave damning testimony against his former friend.
What did Davion tell the jury about your involvement?
I gave him a gun. I picked him up, brought him back to the park, and set the whole murder up.
On the outside,
Hi, baby.
Moore's fiancée Lindsay takes his calls from prison on a regular basis. Both of them believe Morrison lied to get a better deal for himself.
In order for Davion to get his deal, he was going to have to testify against Lydell Moore.
The St. Charles County prosecutor says there was no such deal, and that's where this story would usually end. But after the jury convicted Moore, and prior to his sentencing, his old pal Morrison made a startling claim, and he did it on tape with Moore's defense lawyer.
You wanted the judge to know the truth.
Yes.
The man asking the questions is St. Charles County Public Defender Michael Sato.
Did Lydell have anything to do with the murder of Martell Crump?
No. Besides driving me there, he had no knowledge of me about what was going to happen or none of that.
On tape, Morrison made one retraction after another.
So when you said that you handed a gun to Lydell,
It was a lie.
did you tell lies when you were testifying at the trial?
Yeah. Basically about the whole plot. There was never a plot to kill Martell.
When you testified that you and Lydell had made a plan to kill Tally,
There was a fabrication also.
if we called you to testify at a hearing in front of Judge House, would you be able to tell the truth? Would you be able to say everything that happened?
Yeah.
During sentencing, the judge heard the audio tape, but Morrison invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
The judge is put in a difficult spot as to what weight to give this new evidence.
Tom Stewart is a criminal law professor at St. Louis University. He says Judge Ted House could have called for a new trial, but adds the choice isn't an easy one.
He's in a position of trying to decide, do I believe Mr. Morrison now? Do I believe his trial testimony? You know, he has every reason to be lying now because he's bitter about his sentence. You know, maybe he's not trustworthy now.
There's no question Morrison lied somewhere, either on the stand or on tape. So I went to the prison in Fulton to hear his story.
What happened in the park that day back in 2014?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I talk to you, but you got to give me immunity. That's it. If you tell the judge to give me immunity, I'll talk about it.
When they put him on the stand at trial to give his story, he committed perjury, but they sold that as a truth. And now he's trying to tell the truth. They're saying that we're going to charge you with perjury. So that's what he's asking. That's what he asked you for immunity about, immunity for being charged with perjury.
Did you believe you had a plea deal with prosecutors?
I'm done talking, unless you can give me immunity.
Well, I don't have the power to give you immunity.
I know.
Will you tell us about Lydell Moore?
No.
Did Lydell have any role in this? Davion, we drove 2 hours here today to see you.
I know.
But you know that we don't have the power to give you immunity.
I know.
But we do have the ability to share your story and your side of it.
All right.
Do you recall?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Davion.
So I asked St. Charles County Prosecutor Tim Lomar about possible immunity on the perjury charge. He did not appear on camera, but said, "I'm very confident in the integrity of our case. Our evidence was thoroughly vetted. This young man had a chance to recant his testimony under oath, but he chose not to." Moore says he's appealing his conviction.
Testifying to the truth, why wouldn't you allow him?
I asked Stewart if the audio tape could be considered new evidence.
The post-conviction relief pathway potentially would allow an appellate court to consider newly found evidence. And this may fall within that category.
With no future court date set, Moore has nothing but time on his hands.
I take it day by day. What hurts me the most is I got 2 kids and a fiance that I'm deeply in love with, and this situation is affecting them far more than it's affecting me.
The St. Charles County prosecutor makes it clear they didn't promise Morrison a better deal and adds they never make deals directly with the defendant. Instead, they would deal with a defendant's attorney. Judge Ted House would not comment on the case. Chris Negus, News 4.